let's go ahead and real quick, just real expectations for Nick Mullens. He's playing a hell of a defensive line with Michael Glinchey, Tom Compton, and a couple
Tom Compton's
snaps
out.
for McKivitz.
Compton's out.
Oh, that's right. So it's McKivitz. I don't know how Compton's always out with the concussion nowadays, and Brunskill at center. So it's just all right. What are some real expectations for Nick Mullens? Obviously, it's not going to be too much passing downfield.
Don't die.
Yeah.
Don't die.
Like
That's
seriously, don't die. Like honestly, if Jack Del Rio wants to dial up another rusher, on whatever side on top of the four, oh God, I that's the other thing, right? It's like what I saw what they were doing with Pittsburgh too is they were running a ton of stunts, and Pittsburgh was having problems, identifying who was firing out of which gap. Like they were just they played a hell of a game, man. Like that game was like pretty stagnant in the beginning because they were just trading 3 and outs back and forth. And we know Pittsburgh has a good defense, albeit the fact that they're all banged up. They're still a good defense, but yeah, don't die, Nick. Like honestly, this last week, right? Last week, Washington stopped the Steelers from running the ball. But if you look at the Steelers can't run the ball at all. Like all year.
Right.
At all. Like not even at all. That's why if you notice, Ben Roethlisberger's putting it up 40, 50 times a game, every game, no matter what the game script is.
And they can't pass protect either.
No. And that's the thing. That's why Deontay Johnson is winning so much because he's like a smaller Debo. Like he's like the same sort of route runner, and he's the guy yards after the catch. He just needs to cut the drops out. Anyway, regardless, if this defense brings more pressure and Nick doesn't diagnose it, it's just gonna be a long, long day, man. And obviously the line, is always going to be the worries. But if they can't run the ball and they get back in these situations where he has to drop back, good God, like just you're in trouble.
Yeah, I don't want Nick having to throw more than 25 times this game. That's a recipe for disaster. Look at his last 4 games, 35 attempts, 38 attempts, 35, 39. That's too many attempts for a guy like Nick Mullens to have to throw the ball. And that's why Kyle Shanahan wants to always run the ball 30 to 35 times a game. You want to kind of take the ball out of his quarterback's hands. He's telling you that. He's telling you that last year. He's telling you that this year. He wants to take the ball out of his quarterback's hands and run the ball effectively and efficiently. So that way you're limiting turnovers. Nick Mullens is good for 1. He's good for 1. You're going to get 1 from Nick Mullens. And when you start getting 2, 3, then the game is pretty much over because asking Nick to come back from more than 10 points, it's not happening. Realistic expectation, 18 for 22, 200, 1 TD, 1 interception. Like that's usually where I'm at with Nick Mullens. The drop off, with the quarterbacks on this team, that's kind of where they're going to be at. 18 for 22 is where you want them. 225 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. If you don't get the interception, even better. But I want to see a lot more run game out of this one. And then with the offensive line, I think it's overblown. Some of the protection issues. I think some of it has to do with the quarterbacks behind the line of scrimmage. And then, of course, I think, just being able to throw the ball, threatening defenses at every level of the field. We don't have that ability. Maybe Nick Mullens, scared the Washington football team with those 2 deep passes, both of them to Ayuk, but it's not enough to back guys off and make you fear them. I think the biggest issue on this line is just the right tackle spot. Everyone else is kind of holding their own. Brunskill's played pretty good. Mm-hmm. And McKivitz, outside of 1 or 2 whiffs, he's done fairly well. We all know Trent Williams is playing well. You don't hear from Trent Williams because he's doing his job. And Lakin isn't playing terrible either. The gap between really good offensive lines and the bottom, it's not they're not as spaced out as everyone likes to think. Those numbers are pretty close for the most part. It's just a matter of who's your quarterback, can your offense stay on the field effectively and efficiently, and that makes all the difference to me.
And that's the thing with McKivitz, right? No reps. We literally give out these same sort of not excuses, but reasons, right? For Javon Kinlaw, for all these guys, right? About like where the reps at. Dude, the guy was playing in and out of the game. I had no idea that Tom Compton had a concussion, so how is that guy supposed to get rhythm? Like that's the thing, man. Like at this point, we all know what Tom Compton is, right? That's why it was mind-boggling why you're going to go to him. No matter how much you trust him, you need to see what you got with McKivitz, man. Like and you've shown that if guys play badly, you're just gonna pull them. So like, why not make the switch? Like when guys are playing bad, like it's weird the way that he was handling it. But then you come find out that it was Compton with a concussion or whatever during the game.
Yeah. So realistic expectations for Nick Mullens is expect for him to throw an interception. It's gonna happen.
He's good for 1. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like basically if someone says, "Oh, don't turn over the ball on offense. That's basically like telling a baseball pitcher, don't let the hitter put his bat on the ball. It's just gonna happen. So Nick Mullens, it's always. I live down the street from the fire station, so it's always going down.
They coming, bro. They coming.
I was about to say your door's about to bust it.
Right. What's it called? So with Mullens, an interception is gonna happen. I would say, don't try to go off script too much. We've seen he has that Brett Favre tendency to where I'm just gonna throw it up. The downfall is he's not Brett Favre to overcome that. So I would say expectations. I would say he needs to stay under 220 yards. If Nick Mullens is under 220, that means 49ers are probably going to win this game. And that's what I have talking about next as far as picking a winner. If Nick Mullens is at 250 and up, it's not like they're playing the Giants every week. That was kind of just a 1 week basis to where he threw for over 300 yards in a win. So if Nick Mullens is over 250 yards,
but Leo, he's on the Andrew Luck and Mahomes pace.
Yeah,
that's so bogus,
you know what's funny?
Right?
You know what's funny is whenever he goes,
they get LeBron stats.
Whenever he goes for 300, they lose.
Except for the Giants.
Yeah, except for just one game.
And the Raiders.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you could have him stay under 300 yards, that means 49ers probably win this game. If he's up over that, I think it just says more about Shanahan when they post that. It's look what he's done as far as yardage goes with Nick Mullens. Now give him Trey Lance or Zach Wilson and see what he does. It's probably gonna blow Mahomes and Andrew Luck out the water at that point with Shanahan.
Oh yeah,
we can only hope.